fault. I actually want to talk about how one character regressed, and that is Stefan. As seasons would go on, Stefan would move from being like this dependable, emotionally stable, best choice for Elena kind of character. And the facade that he had kind of introduced to Elena and introduced to the audience was slowly starting to be broken down. The animal blood. He starts off the seasons drinking animal blood. He's more controlled. He doesn't get with the humans. He later then has a relapse, and then he even has a moment where he goes back to becoming what we learn is the Ripper. And the Ripper is who Stefan really is. The Ripper, the one that was going around and taking out whole parts of town, draining men, women, and children, that's who Stefan really is. That's the part of him that was suppressed for so long that the mere tumultuous trials and tribulations of knowing Elena, vying for her love against his brother, facing all these supernatural evils, and still trying to protect her has costed him. It's no longer there anymore. He also begins to regress because he loses control of Elena and Elena's emotions. When she first becomes a vampire, Stefan is trying to like protect her, especially protect her against Damon. In a lot of scenes, and I can't like the specifics, they elude me, but in a lot of scenes, he's like, you know, I have control. Damon doesn't. And I'm going to tell you how you get through this. I will explain everything to you. Damon's never going to do this. And so it's like he's trying to control her perception of a situation. He's trying to remind her that Damon isn't capable of helping her with that. He's also trying to position himself as the savior, as the protector, as the all-knowing guide, especially when she becomes a vampire. And quiet as kept, that was the one thing that Stefan did not want her to become. Because in every other variation with Katerina and with Catherine, how fate goes, Elena, in whatever circumstance she is, becomes a vampire. And that's one of the reasons Stefan feels like a relationship with Elena never works out. And he really can't see that fate would just have it that he was never aligned for Elena because he was never aligned in her current reality. As it stands, Elena is an orphan. When she opens up the season, she's an orphan. She's going back to school after losing her parents in an accident and having immense survivor's guilt because she's the only one that survived and still doesn't know how. She then also becomes a vampire, which definitely wasn't on her list of wants. Her life is full of chaos very, very fast. And honestly, she really doesn't get a break from the moment her parents die. Stefan came in trying to save her from where she was at and have her living into this fantasy of stability and wholeness, when that's probably baby, that ain't Elena's perspective, okay? That's not her current reality, and that's why Damon's always going to work, and that's why the writer said it, so that Elena would eventually choose Damon because she's choosing what's her now. And I've talked about this for 30 minutes. This is just a 3-minute version. Go check me out on YouTube at Chanel's World if you care to hear more about it. But yeah, this is not like a new conversation by any means, and I'm sure a million people are having it, but I always gotta bring up and give us a little bit of nostalgia in 2025, especially for Valentine's Day while I'm single. This love triangle not only exposed and grew up some of the characters, but caused some of the characters to regress. I'm sorry. Stefan was just losing himself with every season, and then he killed Enzo. Like, what?